I want to talk about how we hold things, hold memories, hold stories that are negative, and then that's kind of like how we describe our like views on a situation instead of getting like kind of over it. Like when you hold a story, when something bad happens to you and then you just dwell on that story, like that's your story. That's such a bad thing to do because it's just holding that negative memory towards you. So you're kind of like every time that situation, like that subject that you're like hold that story about gets brought up, it kind of just aggravates you every time. People will be like with relationships, they'll like people with relationships, they'll just blame the sex. Like if they had a bad relationship, they'll just blame the opposite sex. Like, in doing that, I don't think people realize what it does, but it just holds negative energy to you. Say you break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend, and then you go, oh, fuck boys, or oh, just fuck girls. When you get in that mindset of just fuck girls, you're going to hold that to you, because every time someone asks you, like, hey, what about Jenny? Why don't you date her? She seems cool. Then you're going to be like, fuck girls. Every person you say that to is going to make you elaborate on it. Every person, no one's going to hear you say that and then not be like, alright, why are you saying that? No one's going to be like, yeah, I think I get your point. Fuck girls. Yeah, okay. No, they're going to be like, alright, why are you saying that? And then right there, you have to repeat the story of which pissed you off, and now you're going to be mad again, and now you're going to live that story again, and now you're going to go blame the thing, and that's just going to be a cycle. You're going to keep blaming the opposite sex instead of the individual. And even if you keep blaming the individual, that's still bad because you're still dwelling on that specific individual. If you break up with someone, all you're doing is you're moving on. You're getting into a new point in life. And think if you're breaking up with someone that all you were doing was arguing with them anyways, it's so crazy that like, yeah, temporarily that's bad because you're going to be missing them, but think that's good because all you were was pissed at them in the first place anyways. Like why do we stay in relationships that like, they're both angry, like it's a chore for them, like, sorry bro, I would go to the game, but I gotta hang with my girlfriend. If you're viewing it like it's like some annoying dog you have to walk every Saturday night, why are you even with the person? Now, I know I haven't really been in any relationship, so if you don't want to take anything from this or take my advice, feel free, I don't care, it's just my opinion. But I really don't think I know, I understand 100% is different when you're in the situation, but this is just my opinion on it. This is how I view it. If you're not happy with the person, don't be with the person. But we all think we need to resolve it. People just want to date someone to change them. He's the bad boy, I want to change him. Well, you can't unless, there's only two ways to change people if they don't want to be changed, and that's manipulation and fear, and those are like the two worst tactics. Because when you scare someone, when you get the concept of fear in someone's mind, you can change them to get what you want because they're always afraid of what's going to happen. Except that's only temporarily changing them, because once they figure out that whatever they're afraid of, like whatever is like making them scared constantly, whenever that thing is gone, they're going to go back to their normal ways. They're only just changing temporarily so they don't get whatever's scaring them, whatever like is making them have a bunch of fear. They're just doing that so they can avoid that. And when you manipulate people, that's just fucked up, and you're just changing their mind without them knowing it. But if someone doesn't want to change themselves, you can't change them unless you do those things. So just know, if you don't want to mess with someone's mind or make them scared, and you want to change them, at least first try proposing the idea of what you want about that person to be changed, and then talk to them. And if they're stubborn and don't want to change, don't even bother, because they won't change. They need to know, they need to want to change. They can't just change on their own. But it's like, it's just so weird to me that I see like everyday couples just arguing, like and then someone will just bitch about them every day. Like, why do we do that? Because we view relationships as something different than everything else. Like, there's like exceptions with the relationships that there shouldn't be. Like, if you were to put the same situation of relationship in any other different like context or concept, we wouldn't do that. Like, think if you have a friend and you were fighting and arguing all the time, would you be that person's friend anymore? Would every day that specific friend was just pissing you off so much? Would every day you'd be like, well, dude, no, you're wrong, and we can, no, and then you keep trying to resolve it, but all you're doing is arguing, and that's not resolving anything, because once you get anger involved in an argument or a discussion, you're not even thinking logically anymore. You're just so pissed off at the person that that's all you care about is winning your argument instead of resolving the actual problem. So every time you're arguing and then you start getting mad, just know that this argument's not going to solve anything, and that pretty much that point, once you hit that tipping point of anger, like you're angry, the argument's almost worthless now, because nothing's going to get accomplished because you're just too mad to actually cope with other people. They propose an idea, you don't even care, you're just like stuck on that past phrase that made you mad, and then that's all you're caring about now. So when you argue, it's hard not to get mad, but just know that when you're really infuriated, the arguments usually don't go anywhere, and now it's just angry, and then you walk away with the same problem that's not even resolved, and now you have a new problem because you're both really pissed off at each other. So every time you do that, just know you're making it twice as worse, because now you have the initial problem you were going there to solve, and now you're walking away with that same problem unresolved, and now you're pissed at each other. So if you're fighting, but think, if you had a friend like that, you wouldn't do that. You would just be like, all right, fuck this kid, I'm moving on, like he's not my friend anymore. But why do we view it like that with relationships? We're like, well, we need to fix it. No, you don't. You can end the relationship if that's really how miserable it is for you. If every time you go, like, you hang with them, you're getting in an argument and you're mad, do like you would with a friend. I mean, don't view it as any different. If they're making you unhappy, just like anything else in the world. If you had a dog, no, people are like this, well, I love him, or I really like him. Yeah, that's reasonable, but think of this, if you had a dog that was fun, like it was a fun dog, but every single day it shit and pissed in the house at least 5 times, would you keep that dog? No, because you would look at the things that's making you unhappy, and it would probably overrule the occasional things that are making you happy. If you were like 80% unhappy with something, don't even bother with it, because you would just be like, alright, I'm getting a new dog. We should do that with relationships. If that person every day is just arguing with you and pissing you off intentionally and flirting and doing all these things that they know are going to make you mad, don't deal with the person. Just try to move on. I've never been in the situation, so I can't 100% relate to it. But I would hope that if I were in that situation, I would do that. Because if I didn't, I would be stupid. I would just be wasting my time away with a person that I don't need to. But we always view breakups as terrible. But we shouldn't. If the relation itself was just a piece of shit relationship, the breakup should be the best part. You should be like, finally, now I'm free, but we just keep dwelling on it because lust takes over. We just feel that we needed them. Like, God, I could be getting a BJ right now. It sucks I broke up with her. It's like, okay, but like, you were pissed off the entire time. Is that occasional BJ really gonna like make it that much better? No. Like, just know that like every time you break up with someone, there's that many, like, think of how many people are in the world. Think of how many amazing people you have yet to meet that would just be perfect, dying to meet someone like you. There's so many. There's like millions upon millions of those people that would love to be with someone like you. But we're just impatient. We just think, I need to be in this relationship. No, you don't. You don't need to be in a relationship. And when people think they need that to make them happy. When you start getting things that need to make you happy, that's bad, because then once you receive it and then you lose it, that means you're unhappy. When you get someone and you think you need to be with that person and you're like, this person's my everything, I need this person. Just that's bad, because when that person leaves, because most relationships you will at some point break up. So when that person leaves you, or you leave that person, you're just going to be feeling in this state where you're lost. You're like, what do I do with myself? They were my everything. Before you even get into the relationship, work on being happy. Work on being content with what you have now. So when you go into the relationship, it's just like an extra thing in your life that's just amazing and making you happy. Except when that ends, you're back to your normal, content, happy state. You're not back to a state where you need something to be happy. Just know that. But relationships, we view it that like like I said, we view it like a chore. We don't view it like something like, say if you date someone for only 8 months, or like, say you need to walk into the relationship not expecting it, not having like any expectations that it's going to last forever. Because when you start thinking that, that's how the arguments start. Well, we need to resolve it. Are we gonna be dating forever? Like, we just get over the unhappiness because we think we need to stay in it. We think that's how it is. But just know, like, just go in knowing, okay, it might break up. And then people are like, well, why even go for it? Because enjoy it. It's just like anything else. You're not gonna not go to a theme park because you know you're gonna leave. I mean, just enjoy it while you're there. Enjoy the moments. Enjoy spending time with that person. Enjoy those moments you were with that person, because that's what a relationship should be about. It should be about being happy with the person, not being mad with the person and then continuously staying with them because you think you need to be with them in the future. You don't. Just be happy with the person. And then when it ends, like I said, complete yourself. Work on yourself before you go into it. So then when it ends, then you're back to your happy state. But then you can just look back. Yeah, of course you're going to miss it, but then now you're just on a new stage of your life. You're just on a new point in your life where you can move on and just look back on those memories and make, wow, that was a really good time. I can find someone else like that. But we don't view it as the good times we had. We view it as, now I won't have those good times. Of course you're going to have good times. You're not going to break up with someone and never be happy again in your entire life. You're going to be happy plenty of times. Just look back and be like, wow, that was fun. Dr. Seuss said a quote that was very inspirational and very true. It says, don't be sad because it ended, smile because it happened. And that's like probably a great thing to live by, because it applies to that. Don't be sad the relationship ended. Be happy you even got to experience all the fun times you had with that person. That's awesome. So many people don't get to experience that as much as some other people do. If you're like experience a couple relationships, and then you break up, people always jump to, screw relationships, they're stupid. Yeah, they're not stupid if you just view it like that. If you just have fun with the person, and then you think, if you had 3 relationships and every time you just had fun with the person, then just eventually ended, don't think like, well, it's stupid because it keeps ending. Think you had a bunch of fun relationships with people, and it's amazing memories you can look back on, and you had a good time. But we have to understand that. We have to just know that you just need to have fun with it. It's not like a chore, and don't view it as any different. Because think, it's a friendship with intimacy. That's what a relationship is. It's a friendship with intimacy. If you took out any sexual activity, what could you do in a relationship that would be different from a best friend? Nothing. You took out the intimacy. So all you're doing is you're adding sexual things into it in intimacy. That's what you're doing. You're taking a best friend and you're adding that. That's what a relationship basically is. But why instantly when we add that, we just view it as so weird? Like, now I'm dating her, now I can't have fun. Of course you can. Don't view it as anything different. Just view it as a time to have fun. View it as something that you're just going to enjoy. You just went there to enjoy, and then when it ends, like I said, try to work on yourself. Try to get yourself, when you are single, in the happiest state you can. So then when you get a partner, when they leave you, you're not in a state of, I don't know what to do with myself. You're back in the normal happy state. But when you get the person, you'll just be that much happier. But you don't need that person to fulfill yourself. You can fulfill yourself on your own. And that's what you need to do. That's what's going to make it fun, and that's what's going to make it a good time. But we just need to understand that's all it is. It should be a good time. It doesn't need to be endless arguments trying to resolve something that you don't need. Because think, we think about the future, but if you're with someone and you're arguing with that much, why do you want to be with them that long? That's just silly. Why would you even want to be? Yeah, you're going to resolve it, and then you're just going to continuously be pissed at them because now you're just always angry at them. So just have fun with the people and just embrace the moments with them, and then when it ends, before you even get in the relationship, just try to fulfill yourself and create happiness without that person. And then when you get into it, just enjoy everything and don't stress about it. Don't argue, because that's just going to make the experience miserable, and then you're going to walk away angry. You're going to walk away hating an opposite sex when it was clearly that individual. You just need something. You just need to scapegoat a group or just be prejudiced and judgmental on something. But that's just the worst thing to do. Just be happy, and then when it ends, just be happy again. Not that I'm saying it's easy to get over someone you date for a year, but getting over that person will put you in just another new state of your life that will just make more amazing things to come. So take what you want from that. Have a good day, and just, yeah, enjoy yourself.